Getting your bass levels right is one of the biggest issues with all type of producers, and today I have developed this flowchart to help you nail that low end every time. This video is made possible by my sample and preset packs and online courses. At the moment, we have 25% of Black Friday discount, so if you want to take a listen and buy any of my packs or take a look at the classes that I'm giving, this is the perfect opportunity. I will put the link below, take a look. So how does it work? The first thing that we need to do, pick a reference track. In this case, I have my own track here, Veil, just copyright issues, right? Sounds like this. Important thing is picking something that is relatively close to what you are making, so you are not really comparing apples and oranges. If we go back to our chart, the first thing that it says, is your reference compressed? How can you figure that out? Just take a look at your reference track. If it looks like a sausage, like this one, it's a compressed track. So the answer is yes, and then we add a limiter, compress it to 4 dB, emulate the same effect. I'm using 5 Pro L2 to just to make everything more visual. Something like this would work. And the first thing we do after that is adding a low pass filter around 60 Hz. This is a ballpark estimation, so it could be a bit less, a bit more. Go to the group of the low end, add the low pass. This helps you isolate the sub bass of your track. We have to use the same thing on the reference track as well. Pick somewhere that's actually a bit less crowded, like in this track here. And then the same thing, isolate the low end. Back to chart, and it says adjust the peak. How do we do that? Download a plugin that's called loudness meter. You can download it for free. By default, it will look like this. What you need to do, turn off this loudness meter and then go here and bring down the scale so that we can see a bit better what's happening. Do the same thing over the reference track as well. Now comes the cool part, adjusting the peak. Open both of them, just solo the our low end and take an eye on the other one at the same time and try to adjust the levels. The first thing that we realized, our peaks are not matching. Just put the utility after the low pass here, bring down the volume. Peaks are matching now. And then we see this is the kick hitting obviously every beat, but the sub bass is a bit too high on the low end. So what we need to do, just mix it down so the levels are a bit matching more closely. It doesn't need to be exactly the same. Our aim is just having similar peak levels. Now we are much closer to what we have. We have a bit more variation, so sometimes a bit lower, sometimes a bit higher, but I will say overall peak levels are matching more closely. Now we have one more thing over here, high bass layer. This is actually above 60 Hz, but there's a bit still leak to the below 60 Hz. I'm going to also push this a bit up before raising the levels too much. Now we are in the same ballpark estimation. We will come back and do the final stage again. If you are enjoying the video up to now, please consider like and subscribe. The next step says that adjust the loudness. Now this one is really tricky because we have a bit more relaxed low end here and much more faded low end here, and we turn the low end loudness, it will end up like this. It looks exactly the same even though the peaks are coming up and down, right? It just turned out to be this way. It's just a bit luck in my case, but even though if it was here or there, I would still be fine with my loudness level. I wouldn't mind that much. If it is way off here, then you can bring down the loudness a bit more even though peaks are a bit higher. Now the next step is adjusting the bass itself, the body, and it says band pass 20 to 200 Hz and adjust the volume one more time. Duplicate the same EQ, change the low pass to high pass, add another low pass, cut it around 200 Hz. Doesn't need to be perfect. Duplicate it to reference track, turn this off, and now we should be only hearing the body of the sound. Right? And the reference? Very similar to Tamras. We come to another decision gate, if it is layered or if it is a single sound. In our case, we have two different layers, so it means that we can actually adjust the body of the sound with the volume knob. Let's say you have one single sound. If you have a synthesizer, you can just open up the filter cutoff, get a bit more body out of the sound, or you can use saturation or multi-band compression to pick a specific area and boost that area. Depends a bit on your decision. But let's go back to our track. They sound pretty similar, but one thing that you have to keep in mind even before before you are looking at the U-Lean is that we have two different type of characters here. We have a bit more full body bass sound in our own track. On the reference track, it's a bit softer on the low end, so we are not really directly looking for matching the levels. We just want to be around the ballpark. Take a look at the charts now. As expected, the kick picks a bit harder with R1 because our kick is much thicker compared to the Veil, and our bass a bit more with the groove. Veil has a bit more constant bass body. But we can see that we are actually a bit above than expected levels. Because we have two different layers, this is really straightforward. What I like to do, bring this down all the way. And let's start bringing in. Somewhere around here, I'm still a bit louder, which is fine for me because this is a bit more full body track. But now I feel like our levels are much more in line each other. This will sound much more coherent altogether. Our loudness, it's not that louder actually. It is still in the same ballpark. Once you have done everything, you can actually go back and do it one more to make sure that you are really adjusting everything. All this volume adjustment that we made will have an actual impact on our initial limiter that we add here. We are still having like -1.82 dB compression, so it's really perfectly fine. If it was 0, for example, we could maybe compress a bit more and do the same circle again, but in this case 1-2 dB decrease in the volume doesn't matter that much. Now once you complete your whole circle, I will still suggest you to really listen now and make small tiny adjustments after your taste. 1-2 dB to your sub bass is completely fine. This will give you the space and flexibility to like bend your low end after your own taste. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Take off all my filters. Now I don't care about the loudness or anything because I know that I'm in the right area. I'm gonna boost the sub a little bit, and even here, just to pronounce it, this really beefy, warm low end. And yeah, this is how you get your low end right every time. If you want to learn more about bass production and how you can really fix your bass, I have a whole bass masterclass over here. Take a look.